Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. Top of the morning, everybody. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news to Counterpunch concerning Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, Anthony Joshua, and Oleksandr Usyk. Okay. Undefeated SOG, undefeated three-time champion, Andre SOG Ward, and multiple champion welterweight 140-pound, 147-pound ESPN commentators, Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward had a lot to say about what they think will be the upsets of 2020. Now, this was very interesting. They said, first of all, Andre Ward feels that the only way Anthony Joshua keeps his unified champions is he holds them hostage. Okay. He says that Oleksandr Usyk upsets Anthony Joshua, but with a twist. He says that Anthony Joshua will beat Kubrat Pulev, but will be defeated by the hands of Oleksandr Usyk. Okay. Timothy Bradley says that Anthony Joshua will not fight the winners out of Wilder and Fury, because he will be beaten by Oleksandr Usyk. So both guys agree that Oleksandr Usyk will outclass Anthony Joshua. Now, this was very interesting because it was kind of off the beaten path. And now hear me out. You got Kubrat Pulev, that's a top-ranked fighter. But both of the guys are in agreement that Anthony Joshua beats those guys. Beats that guy, rather. But they both agree that matchroom fighter Oleksandr Usyk, 16 or 17-0, I can't remember his record, will dismantle, outclass Anthony Joshua. Okay. Now, let me counterpunch both fighters. Now, this is not 100% biased at all. And I don't know if it was from Andre Ward or because I don't think Andre Ward is biased. I think that's his opinion. And the only reason I think that's his opinion is simply because he was a guy that actually wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, and that would be the guy that he would fight due to the style, right? Timothy Bradley, I'm not so sure about, but both guys say that Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev. You could say, oh man, they're just saying that because if they had Kubrat Pulev beating Anthony Joshua also, then you could kind of see, it's some shadiness going on because that's an ESPN fighter and they got to protect how they talk about ESPN fighters as being ESPN commentators. So then that's where the bias comes in, the favoritism comes in. But they both are in favor for Joshua beating Kubrat Pulev, okay, which is the mandatory on the IBF, which I hope he takes that fight because that's a fight that's more far-fetched. That's one of those fights that's more difficult, okay? And it is a mandatory, so it is a tricky spot. Now, Usyk, they're entitled to their own opinion if they feel Usyk will outclass Anthony Joshua. This is what I have to say about that. I don't know. I don't know if Usyk has the ability to, and I know he has the ability. I can't say the ability. Is he big enough? We know of him putting on weight because he's getting up in the heavyweight division. He has to have more muscle mass, or should he think he has to have more muscle mass? But he's like 6'3". He's not a small heavyweight, but he's not a heavy guy. He's not a big guy, and I look at Andre Ward seeing Usyk with similar attributes as him. So that's why I think he's going for Anthony Joshua. For Usyk, because he feels if I was that guy, smaller guy, I would use my smaller size and my speed and my angles to defeat the taller, bigger Joshua. The only problem with that is we don't know who has been a good barometer for Usyk yet. It's kind of too. Now, if he would have went there and dismantled Chisora or White and did a good cleanup show and did an impressive job with some other proven heavyweight, then he might have a state. I think it's too premature for Andre Ward to make that assessment. But he is he is a former boxer, he is a commentator, so he has his own knowledge. But that's why I think he would pick Usyk, because he sees Usyk throwing the same combinations and fighting the same way that he would have fought Anthony Joshua. Now, for Timothy Bradley, I don't know where he gets it from. I don't know. I can't say he's biased. But what I will say for Anthony Joshua, if they think that he's going to hold his belt hostage and going to lose and not going to fight for the winner out of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and I'm coming to you guys with a video about them, set aside from this. If I'm Anthony Joshua, hey, all the haters, come see me. Prove all the haters wrong. Prove all the naysayers wrong. Simply because it's a lot. Now he has people that doubt him. They have people that saying that a smaller fighter will beat a proven unified heavyweight champion. Usyk hasn't tasted the power that he's tasted. Witherspoon was heavy-handed, but he wasn't experienced enough and wasn't skilled enough to fight someone like Usyk. Usyk, has been in there with guys like Klitschko, though. Now, mind you, there's the other reason that they have. Now, they didn't specify. But if I'm Andre Ward, another reason that I would have Usyk maybe putting the whooping on Joshua maybe is because reportedly he did that to Vladimir Klitschko during a media workout, and Vladimir had him thrown out in the first round because he made him look bad. Now, that was said by many sources that Usyk gave Klitschko the business. Klitschko and Joshua kind of fight similar. They have a similar fighting style. Not saying that Joshua jabs and grabs, but he did emulate that style when he fought Andy Ruiz, okay? However, if with the skill set that Vladimir Klitschko had and Usyk was able, if they say that's true, I'm not calling it a lie, but we did hear sources that Oleksandr Usyk gave Vladimir Klitschko the business, played around with him, toyed around with him, okay? So if that's the case, he might have a point, or I can see why he said what he said. Because if he looked and he knows what we've heard about Oleksandr Usyk putting a whooping on Vladimir Klitschko and Joshua going head-to-head up into 11 rounds, they should have actually had a rematch. That would have been big. That would have been a Wembley special, right? But that would be the only reason that I can think of outside of what their opinions are, because I didn't hear them talk and mention about that sparring session that Vladimir Klitschko had with Usyk. Okay, so that could be a reason. And what we're looking at with Usyk, if he was able to do that with Vladimir, that means that he's comfortable fighting bigger guys. And if he's comfortable fighting bigger guys like that, well, hey, he lets his hand fly. He fights sporadically. He fights in these weird, awkward angles. He can move. He can box. He is really defensively sound. So it's not totally out of the question. My thing is, I think it's all premature. Because what happens if Joshua hits him with one of them right hands he hurt Ruiz with the proven chin? But Usyk's chin is not proven. What happens if he hits him? That's what I want to see. Can he stand the firepower at heavyweight? It hasn't been proven yet. So we can't say that. Also, with them thinking, or Bradley thinking, that, he won't fight the winner because of Usyk, that remains to be seen. Let's see what he does with Kuprat Pulev, but that is their prediction on the upset of 2020. They said, now to put the cherry on top of the ice cream, okay? They said that Anthony Joshua isn't that skilled. He isn't good enough. So they were throwing a little shade. They were throwing, hey, he could outbox Andy Ruiz, but he can't outbox Usyk, But here's another thing. Usyk, though, if Andy Ruiz was if he would have beat Anthony Joshua again, he would have had to fight Kuprat Pulev, or he would have to fight Usyk, right? He couldn't just go for undisputed because Deontay Wilder has his own business with Fury. Okay. So, and then I was in agreement that Usyk, with the style that Usyk has and with Ruiz, would beat Andy. He would beat Andy Ruiz. So, But that's what I love about heavyweight boxing. I think they threw some shade in there saying he's not that good of a boxer. He could outbox Andy Ruiz, but he can't outbox someone like Usyk. But again, you guys heard my counterpunch. You guys tell me what you think about Andre Ward's prediction along with Timothy Bradley's. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.